This is my outlook on gold for this week. So on gold, we are still, like you said, we are bullish, right? The daily time frame. If you watch my previous videos, breakdown videos, I said that on the daily time frame we are still bullish. There's no any sign of we shifting from bullish to bearish. That we are still bullish. The structure, the price action on the daily time frame is still bullish. And yeah, last week we confirmed everything. We confirmed the whole bullish trend, right? So now what price did was we retraced all the way down to this zone, and we use this zone as a new higher low zone. And from this higher low zone, you see how we push all the way up to this high here, right? Now, since we've pushed all the way high up to this high here, so if you did not enter at this higher low zone, right, or in any of these zones up here, what you do now is you wait for price to make a new higher low zone. Now on the 4 hour time frame, you can see how we push all the way, make this high, drop, push, drop, then we push all the way up to make this high, right? What we just potentially wait for price to do is for price to give us a new higher low. Now price could push all the way up, right, break above this resistance, because this is a strong resistance zone, right? You see how price is we've rejected off of this zone plenty of times. This is the 5100 psychological zone. So at this zone, you see how we drop, we jet off of it, we came to this zone again, we jet off of it. So potentially now we are at this high, right, at that same 5-1 zone. So since this is a high, potentially is a high, what we just do, wait for price to make a new higher low zone, and the higher low zone could be at any zone. You get me? It could be at any zone. Just have to anticipate it. Just wait for when price start dropping and we make it like a shift of structure, and once we get that shift of structure, we enter longs, right? Now potentially price could push up, just like I said, we could break above this resistance zone, right, push up, then wait for price to drop. Still same concept, just wait for price to drop to make a new higher low zone, right? So once we get that higher low zone, then we continue riding the trend, because now potentially on gold, on the daily time frame, I see price going up to this last high that we had here, this last high here. So since we make this is a low, higher low, this is another higher low zone. From this higher low zone, I see okay, potentially we could see price move all the way up to this last high here. So we have a lot of room for we to go bullish. From this zone, we have a lot of room for we to go bullish. So you just wait for a price to make some type of retracement. Either we break above this zone, right? Once you break above this zone, you get that retracement for a new higher low zone. Once you get that higher low zone, then we enter longs, right, and hold the longs to when we get any type of reversal pattern or bearish reversal pattern, then you liquidate that longs. But I see price potentially going up to this zone, even up to 5500 psychological zone. So yeah, if you go to the 2 hour time frame, just to explain this new higher low zone that price made here, just so we can also in the future identify a zone where price is going to use as a higher low zone. Now we are bearish, right? What we did was we pushed all the way up, we came back down to make a new higher low zone. So since if we were bearish, right, from this zone we are supposed to make a new lower low, right? But instead what we did was we pushed all the way up, when we dropped down to make a new higher low zone, and from that higher low zone we made a new higher high. Now once you get this higher high, right, this is potentially tell you that okay, price wants to go bullish from this zone, or price is ready to go bullish from this zone. Now you just wait for type of retracement like this, like a new higher low zone, just like I'm explaining here, that you should just wait for a new higher low zone. Either we drop down to here, we break above, and we retest down to this zone. Just wait for a new higher low zone. So once we get this shift of structure here, you see how we make this low, then a high, then a higher low, then a higher high. Then you just wait for price to make a new higher low zone, and from this zone you just enter longs, and you capitalize on this new higher low zone and try to ride the trend up to maybe the last high, or even potentially a new high. So yeah, you can see how price just make this, then we retrace down to this zone, and from this zone we're just bullish and we push all the way up to this zone here. That's why I always say structure is king, right? Structure, price action structure. Like the market will tell you when it wants to reverse. The market will tell you when it wants to use a zone as a higher low zone. The market will tell you when it wants to use a zone as a lower high zone, or the when it's not ready to break a high, or when it's trying to make a new higher high. You're going to get every information you want to get just by looking at market structure. Just higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. As simple as that is, right? As simple as it looks, or as basic as you think it is, right? I tell you that's all the market is about. Higher highs and higher lows, higher highs or lower lows or and lower highs, right? Except you are consolidating at a particular zone. But if you are moving, that's all market is. It's higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, or lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. That's just it. So if you can understand price action, market structure, right? Very well, right? You could capitalize on any move. Capitalize, you could know when price is ready to make a new higher low zone, right? You could know when, like just like I explained. So yeah, back to this now. As you see this trend now, we going like very bullish from this zone. Like, as you can see, like this is strong bull. This is a strong bullish uh run here. This is just indicating to us that bulls are very strong at this area. Now it's looking like we could potentially break above this zone, right? Yeah, it's looking like it. So just to draw what I explained so that you can understand what I'm trying to say. Now, if we break above this zone, right, to wherever zone we go to, we could push all the way up. I don't know where price is going to push all the way to. I'm not saying it's going to drop, push all the way up to here or here or here or here. It could be at any zone. Price could use any zone as a new higher high zone, right? So now, for example, this is just an example. Let's say we use 5-2 as a new higher high zone. What we'll do is wait for price to make a new higher low zone. Once we get that higher low zone, then we could continue riding the trend. Then at this higher low zone here, potentially, I'm not saying this should be a new higher low zone here. I'm not saying this is going to be a new higher low zone, right? Just all these are just speculations. I'm just trying to make an example. What I mean by saying wait for a new higher low zone. So a higher low zone could be here, could be below, could be down here, could be whatever zone. As long as we do not break this last structure point, which is this last higher low zone, which is around this zone here. All these zones from here down could be any of these zones could be a potential higher low zone for price to drop all the way down to you get. So we just wait for a new higher low zone. If it could be this zone, then from here, once we get that higher low zone, we confirm that okay, this is a new higher low zone. Then we'll enter longs from this zone. Okay, from this zone, and potentially we could target the new high, or we could potentially target above up to this zone. This one way price could go, we could just break above, just like I said, we could just break above and we just wait for a new higher low zone. But if we are not able, if we do not break above, then potentially you should just wait for price to make a new higher low. If you are not able to break above this zone, right, just wait for a price to make a new higher low zone. Now the higher low zones could be anywhere, like just like I said, from this zone down to around this zone, all these zones are valid higher low zones as long as we not break below the structure point. From here down to this zone are all valid higher low zones. So you could come up to, let's just use this zone as an example. We drop down to this zone, and once we get a rejection of this zone and we get like a shift of structure, right, you can enter longs at this zone. Now potentially you should target new highs, or you could potentially hold your position up to this last high that price made. This is a daily high. Potentially anything you want to do, you get. But what we are, just like I said, or just like I explained, what we are waiting for is for price to make a new higher low zone on the lower time frames, like maybe the 2 hour, the 1 hour, or the 4 hour. Get. Once you get a new higher low zone, then we could continue to ride this trend back up. So yeah, that's my outlook for good for this week. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.